He's the one outperforming everybody. Cool
that
stuff.
was, yeah, very wild. But now we're ready for our next wild thing. So Wild Thing, take it away.
I got a dad joke. What do you call a snake who works for the government? Ooh, a civil serpent. There you go.
Ba-dum-bum.
Yep.
So we're going to leave the snake jokes to our next guest.
All right, fine.
Yours was okay, subpar, 2 out of 10. Hey,
All
just
right.
kidding. Who spends his day wrangling and saving rattlesnakes in California? Talk about a pretty baller job, right?
No doubt, yeah. Bruce Ireland, of course, answers the call to safely remove snakes from people's homes and gets them back where they belong to keep rattling on. He even became quite the viral sensation because of it. Bruce is here with us now. Very excited to talk to you, Bruce. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. I thought your joke was actually really funny, so thank you.
Hey, 1 out of 2 ain't bad. I'm batting 500 here with this crowd. All right, listen. What got you into saving these snakes? This is kind of a unique gig you've got going here.
Yeah, so I've been working with snakes almost my whole life, kind of just out of fun and a hobby. And about 4 years ago, I realized that really, if someone has a problem or a nuisance snake in their yard, there's only really 2 options. That was to call the fire department, who has to show up in a really expensive fire truck, pull a team of 4 off the job and go and get a snake. And sadly, in San Diego County, they have to kill the snakes. And I didn't like that. The other option was to call a pest control place who would show up maybe 2 hours later and charge you $250 and still kill the snake. I found that really hard to understand. So I just decided there's got to be a better way. So I just kind of did a kind of a post on Nextdoor. And at first it was slow to take off, but pretty soon it got going. And by first year, middle of the first year, I was having 6 and 7 calls a day coming in to go get snakes.
You know, honestly, I got to say for the snakes, you're kind of like the Bruce Wayne in the snake world. You're there to advocate and protect them. And, I do believe humans and nature, we have to coexist, right? We never want to see an animal killed, especially these beautiful creatures. So explain to us why it is so important to relocate these snakes.
Yeah, it's funny. Snakes are one of the most feared things in the world. I think if you were to rank fear in the top 3, obviously death is number 1. And I think public speaking and snakes fall 1 and 2. I've always found that people that are scared of snakes have been taught to fear them. They probably haven't had a lot of experience themselves with snakes. So someone in their lives has taught them to think they are evil or bad. And what I try to do when I get these things from people's homes is share a little information about them and why they're important to the ecosystem and what do they do to help us rid ourselves of rodents and rats and mice. Because without snakes, we would get overrun very quickly with rodents that carry all kinds of horrible diseases. And most people, once they spend a little time seeing snakes up close and kind of understanding them better, you can almost see the fear wash away from, which is one of the big things I love to see.
Well, there you go. Let's go ahead and put the fear back into people. Next question here in the script is, have you had any close encounters with snakes? Any bites, any strikes? Let's hear it.
Yeah, so anytime you work with snakes, you're going to get bitten. I'm fortunate enough to have not been bitten yet by a venomous snake. I'm very, very careful. As you see in some of these videos, I'm never handling any venomous snake by hand. I'm always using my tools, which are hooks, tongs, buckets. So I don't get bitten by venomous snakes. I've been bitten by many, many non-venomous snakes, and that's just part of the job. I get into a yard and quickly realize what type of snake it is. And if it's a non-venomous snake, regardless of size, I just pick it up with my hands. And sometimes that ends up in a bite. But it's not too painful, and you get over it pretty quickly.
Yeah, just a little bite. No big deal.
Bite, no big deal.
Hey,
Flesh
I
wound.
gotta ask you. I heard you have a snake with you. Is that true?
I do.
Can we see it? Can we see it?
Yeah. So it's funny. I do. I have one pet snake, and my daughter's handing her to me right now, and she's tightly wrapped around my daughter's arm, but we're going to get her off. So this was kind of somebody, the pet that didn't want her anymore, and they knew we loved snakes. So we ended up kind of adopting. She's kind of shy. We'll turn her. We kind of adopt her. She's a trying to figure out, ball python.
There you go. Yeah. There you go.
Obviously, they're not indigenous to this country. They're from Africa. And she's been with us now for about 3.5, maybe 4 years. So she's she's awesome. My kids love her, and she's also become a big part of my education. When I get a chance to talk to kids or adults that are scared of snakes, I usually bring Izzy. Her name's Izzy, and she's great because she's really slow moving. She's really docile. She's never bitten, and most people warm up really well. So it's a good jump off point to getting used to snakes.
I love it. It's almost like she's saying hi and giving us her best side. Oh, maybe blowing us some kisses, Nick?
Gotta be.
That tongue's coming out to kind of sense what's going on. You know, she's not used to being held right in bright camera like this, but handles it really well.
Yeah.
And
Good.
she's a really cool pet.
Well,
Beautiful pattern on the snake,
Yeah.
too. Very cool.
Yeah. If you're old enough to remember E.T., I always say her pattern looks like, I'm trying to figure out which way.
No.
She's got an E pattern there, right there.
oh, it does
I
look
totally
like E.T.'s
agree.
face, like E.T.'s winking at us.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Pretty cool.
Izzy, it's nice to meet you. Bruce Wayne, Ireland. We are so glad you joined us here on Fox Weather Wild. Keep up the good work. We love it.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun, and I really appreciate you having me on the show.
Yeah.
You know it. We'll see you on TikTok, man. Have a good one.
I'll be there. Bye, guys.
All right. I love it. Well, that was definitely wild, but
Yeah.
time now to get